Let's play time. Come on, grab your friends. We'll go to very distant lands with pick in hand and mobs to kill. The fun will never end. It's Let's Play time. Hey everyone, welcome back. Silver Contrails here. If you're returning from last episode, you may remember this room that we spent a lot of time working in. And if you're just now joining me, and I know I got a lot of new subscribers, so many of you might actually be tuning in for the first time, welcome. We are building a Nether Hub. It's going to be pretty fun. So, you could probably see behind me, as I change my view here, we've got some zombie pigmen stuck up on top of my chandelier type thing I decided to kind of throw in here at the last minute. I don't know how they managed to spawn right there, but it does at least solidify the theory that they can't spawn on this. I haven't seen a single pigman spawn on these half slabs that I put down, so that's a good sign at least. And I think I broke this. They can spawn in some of these other places though, but it is still it should be very rare that they should spawn up here, but there they are. Yeah. So, last episode, of course, we had a problem with the nether portals. I put the nether portal initially right here, and it sent me to a mob spawner, a dungeon somewhere, actually a bit outside my base, a little bit away from the village, actually. And I repositioned it here, so this one actually takes me straight back to the base, right where my normal nether portal is. So that's perfect. That's right where I want it to be. Although pigmen keep kind of filing through here. I haven't been really making a whole lot of changes lately around here. I've been pretty much stuck in the nether for the last week, and I haven't played a whole lot. I've been collecting some wood. So nothing really to talk about here. Pretty much everything is just in the nether right now. So we go and head over to there. We can talk about a little bit more about what we're doing with the Nether Hub and what we're going to do with the railway, which you probably noticed is getting configured still. And this actually is kind of a problem. When I return, it returns me back down here. Remember that this pathway goes down to my old base in the jungle and also to the end portal. And then this one goes down to where we can find some nether quartz. I don't think there's anything in here I need before we get started. Nope. Alright. My throat feels a little sore. But yeah, here we are at the railway. I extended this out quite a bit from what I had it last time. Of course, put the nether portal here. And this is, the start of it. I started some of it, but I wanted to continue it on camera to kind of show off what I'm doing. I want to make this episode feel a little bit tutorial-like, so it's going to be a bit instructionary in case you guys are new to this sort of thing. A lot of what I'm going to be basing this on is some of the stuff SethBling did. SethBling actually uploaded a video pretty much right after mine, like a day after my last video, that showed a really cool minecart mechanic, or minecart station design. It's not one I'll be imitating here, but I'll actually be imitating it when I get to my destinations, which I should have 3 of. But I'm not doing it here just because of how I want this set up, which I'll discuss here in a bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about minecart station theory. And the reason that I'm talking about all this is because I love minecarts. Like, I don't think there's anything really in Minecraft that I love more than minecarts. It's that functionality that I love. I love building things that are functional. I talked about this when I talked about Feed the Beast before, comparing functionality to things that just look good. Creative designs, all those sorts of things. Being able to build something that does something, not something that just kind of sits around. Like building houses, building stuff in the village. That's fun for a little while, but I'd rather build something that actually contributes to what I'm doing in the game. And a minecart station is probably one of the best things you can do besides a mob spawner. So anyways, minecart station. This is what I have set up so far. So There are 4 parts to any minecart station. There's the departure platform, the arrival platform, track selection, and lastly, minecart storage. So basically, you want as much to be automated as you possibly can. Whatever you have to do manual takes time, and it's not very cool. It's cool if you have everything automated. Obviously, the simplest thing you can do is if you've got powered rails in here, I could grab a minecart, I could plop it down, and I could push it, and then I could go. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to have to manually push my cart places, and I want to be able to pick destinations, pressing buttons, and all that sort of thing. So, in regards to those 4 points, let me indicate where those are in this area. So the departure and arrival platforms in this case are the same point. You don't have to make them the same point in your station design. They can be 2 different areas. But for me, they are right here. This is where the minecart will be, and I'll show you. Whoops. Why is it? Okay. Oh, I know why, because I have that being powered. Let me break that real quick. Grab you. So if I press this button, I have a minecart ready to go. So it's totally, get in, and I can go places. And so this is my departure platform. It's also my arrival platform. I'm going to have to modulate it a little bit. I think I need a detector rail right here. So I'll break that just for now so I remember to put a detector rail there. In fact, I'll put some redstone down or something. Maybe I'll just leave it open. Anyways, minecarts that are leaving, so this is where I'm going to get into the cart, as well as minecarts that have returned will end up in this spot. They'll be nudged up against this block. That means as soon as these powered rails are activated, the minecart will proceed along the track. So that's the departure and arrival stations. Another way you could do it, of course, is to have this be like your departure station, and then the minecart, when it comes back, it gets diverted to somewhere else. And then you get off, and then when you get off, you step on the pressure plate, and it sends the minecart either back to your departure platform or to minecart storage. So the second part of this, or the third part, I guess, of a minecart station is storage. So where do you store your carts? The simplest means of doing that is a chest. You can throw it on a chest wherever you want, pull minecarts out of it, put minecarts back in. It's really simple, it's really easy. But it's not automated, it's not very functional. I guess I shouldn't say it's not very functional. It is very functional, but I'd rather have it be a button press away. Press button, receive minecart. Do I have my sign? No, I don't. Just in case I get attacked by zombie pigmen. So the trick with this is, of course, dispensers, and there's a couple different ways to do this. Dispensers, I talked about this in a video before, now work really well with hoppers and I think they're droppers, yeah, droppers. I've really simplified this whole thing. I used to have it set up in a different way. I will have it set up on my destinations, so the places that I'm going to, they're going to have this design that's very similar to SethBling's, and they will have automated storage. Right now, my storage is manual. And the main reason why is that I always expect when I leave and I come back for there always to be a minecart here. Pretty much 90% of the time there's going to be a minecart here. And that's going to be because I'm going and then I'm coming back. I'm not going and then leaving the cart there. The only time that's going to happen is if I leave and then I go through the end portal. And then basically the only time this is going to happen is if I go to the end. That there's going to be one less minecart, because I'll go down there, the minecart will go down and be at that destination down, wherever I have that set up. And then what I'll end up doing... Sorry, my frames are dropping. Then what I'll end up doing is... probably, like, the minecart will probably be stored down there, and it won't return, so I'll have to call another minecart. Eventually, I would probably run into an issue where I don't have any more minecarts at the station because they're all stuck down by the end portal, but maybe that won't be a huge problem. Okay, so we're about 10 minutes recorded in. Just want to make sure that we get some building time in here, because we've got one more thing to complete in this episode, one little thing to build, and that might take actually a bit of time. But first, let's make sure that this works. Okay, so press the button, receive the minecart, and then press the destination. Alright, so let's pretend that went off. Now, if I'm coming back... If I'm coming back... Okay, hold on. I need to make sure I'm doing this right. Okay, so the minecart coming along here should continue going straight. Oh, okay, I know why. Right. Yeah, I know why. Okay. Yeah, I just had a little mistake. Actually, these are fine where they're at. And we'll talk about this in a second. I just want to make sure that I've got this set up before I go ahead with it. Okay. So this should be the default state for sure. Alright, so if a minecart returns, it should hit that rail. And... maybe I should wire it. Well, that time it worked. So what I'm trying to do here is just when the minecart comes back, I want it to end up right here. But to do that, I'll need to power them for a brief second. These two rails can't stay on all the time. So, oh man, he got out. I kind of stuck him back behind the wall so he'd get out of my way. See if he goes back there again. Come on. No, go. Come on. Go up one more. No, he jumped down. Ah, so close. So close. But, yeah, I don't... That was weird. I think this is too... I may have to wire it underground. If you know what I mean. Basically just... So put the detector rail here, and the regular rail here, and then... I think that's where the... Actually, I might need to go one more. Alright, so put the redstone down like this. Oh no, I can't do that. Dang. Let me go let my dog in. She's scratching at the door. We have fireworks in our area very, very soon after summer begins. I live on a lake, so it seems like everyone around here wants to shoot off fireworks, even though they're actually illegal in my state. So I will be back in a moment. Alright, so I fixed my problem over here with the minecart coming in. And what I just decided to do was just have the single booster and then have another booster right here. So when a minecart comes in, it gets pretty well positioned where I need it to go. And yeah, that's all there is to it, so no fancy wiring needed for that. And that brings us to our next section, which is actually track selection. These three buttons. So the idea here, the overall idea and plan, is that you get in the minecart and you press the button for where you want to go. The track ahead of me will reconfigure based on which button I pressed, and the minecart will be launched from the powered rail that's underneath it, which will activate. So there's two different things that are going to get wired here. First of all is the powered track, which is already wired. If I press the button now, it sends the cart along. The other thing that's going to change is the configuration of these tracks. So these are all going to be different destinations. So this is going to be one route you can go down. This is going to be another route you can go down. This will be another route you can go down. So what, and I know I'm saying so a lot, what you can do here is essentially send a single redstone signal, a single line of redstone, and I'll show you what that looks like, actually. It's right up here. So this is just the redstone line that activates whenever any of the buttons are pushed. This line will go up. As you can see down here, a little bit tough to see on this texture pack. You see that no matter which button I press, this redstone line will turn on. The trick, I guess, to doing this is to set it up in a way so that each button I press activates a different rail. Because as you guys probably know, minecart tracks will change their orientation if they're receiving a redstone signal. So if I take, say, some redstone, put it here, you can see that I can actually change. Actually, I'll move this. I can change which way the minecart track is pointing. And I mention this only because I do have some beginners that watch my videos, and they might not recognize what exactly is going on here in the behavior of tracks. So basically, each of these corner pieces will change direction if I apply a signal, and they'll change which way. All of these, by default state, will send the minecart down that track. So it'll come along, it'll hit this intersection here, and it will go this way. If I change that signal, it will continue straight. It won't turn, it'll try to go straight as often as possible. And so basically, if I apply a signal here, it'll go, turn down this track, and head down this one. If I were to apply a signal here and to here, it would go all the way down and then turn. And if I applied a signal to all three, it would just continue going straight. So that lets us actually control where the minecart goes, but the question is, how do we get that behavior if we're only using one line of redstone, right? Well, this comes from a little trick, little redstone trick, and that TaviRider basically put to work for this single line input railway. And I've talked about him in a video before. My frames have died, so I'll jump scenes here in a bit. But TaviRider made a really cool track selection system, and I'm imitating it here. I've done it before. It works really, really well. It's a little tricky to set up, a little bit of trial and error. Oh, my frames are back. Cool. So basically, this is the redstone line. It comes down, jumps down onto the bottom floor. And these are the redstone torches. These control the orientation of the track above them. So this is the first switch, this is the second switch, this is the third switch. They're all on their default state, which is off. So they want to be off all the time until I press the button, and then I want to turn certain ones on. Well, I just had a very fun experience. A couple of things that I did here. First of all, I updated my version of Fraps that I use for recording because it was corrupting my video files. I recorded probably another 10 minutes after that last segment you saw, and then I promptly lost it all. So here I am again, trying to finish this up, and I guess we'll just keep going from here. I'll try to remember what I talked about before. So, and let's go down here. I rearranged this. I need all of these to be inverted, all of these redstone torches to be inverted, but I need them to be inverted down here as opposed to over here. I had it wired weird. I don't know why I did it that way. Because the important thing is the distance between the buttons up top and the torches down here. That's the important thing. And so when I put the torch over here, it was messing up with my distances and it was making the whole thing obsolete, and I wouldn't have been able to do anything with it. So anyways, I rewired that. So, okay, here's kind of how this is going to work. Any minecart that comes down this track that doesn't have a rider in it ends up here. When I press the first button, this track is going to change. You can see it already changing. Press the button, this track changes. So when I say I want to go to destination 1, I'm going to get sent along the track, I'm going to pass over this junction, and I'm going to come here, and then I'm going to turn and I'm going to go down this path. So that's already Route 1 is programmed in. If I want to go down Route 1, I press the button. In any other situation, the minecart will come down here, and it will stop, and I'll probably make another powered rail right here so that it gets pushed back. And that's just in case I either push the cart accidentally that way, or a pigman gets in it. The second button will power not only this junction, but it'll also power this junction, in which case I'll pass through both of them and head down this path. So that's our second destination. The third button will power the first junction, the second junction, and the third junction, and will send me straight down this path. Or down maybe another one of these that shoots off to the right if I wanted to program that in, which I might do in the future. I might add more destinations. So how we make this work is by playing with the distance that the redstone signal travels. Each of these blocks, there's only one line of redstone, so it's along here. And as you know, or you should know, redstone travels 15 blocks from its source. So 15 blocks from this input, from underneath me would be the button. It'll go and power redstone all the way down here. Now, if we plant a torch to simulate us pressing the button, we can see that the redstone line goes to about... Where does it go to? It goes to... I think it goes like right here. Yep, okay, that's where it goes. That is the end of the redstone line. So because we know where the redstone line actually comes to a halt, we can set up the system in a way so that every time we press a button, the different junctions turn on and off. The first button will power this torch, the second button powers this torch, and the third button powers all three torches. And so I went ahead and already wired those. You can see that the distance between these two is 1. So again, if I press the second button, the redstone signal comes basically to right where I'm standing. If I press the third button, the redstone signal goes one more over, because again, it's one more towards me. It's one more to the left. It'll power this, which powers this torch here. So we can go see this in action, actually. Come up here. If we press the button, you can see that this one changes. So. Then we get our second one. Both these change. And our third one, we can see all three of them change. So it might be a little hard to catch. But yeah, that's basically it. So with everything wired, there's one last thing to do, and that's actually test and make sure that I go into each of these different destinations depending on which button I pressed. So this should be destination 1, destination 2, destination 3, and then of course here, I only go there if I push the minecart there without pressing a button. So let's bring down the minecart. First let's test to see if the rider detection is working. So push the minecart. And it returns. Cool. So it knows whether or not I've pressed the button. So now we can get in and hit destination 1. Head along, and we're at destination 1. And I just have it set to send me back. So we can test it again, of course. Go to destination 1. And how about destination 2? There we go. Once more. And finally, destination 3. Nope, I didn't quite make it. So, of course, when you do make this, you'll have to do some trial and error if you do make it. Because you have to make sure that the delay is enough. I probably just don't have enough delay on here, so I'll max out the delay on this one and see if that does it. That seems to work. Once more. Sweet. That looks really good. Basically, this Minecart Station is 100% complete. All I'd have to do, really, is fill in these walls. And I'm, good to go here. There really isn't anything else to do. Besides make it look nice, which I'm going to work on off camera, I think. These guys are still here. There's actually a lot of pigmen spawning. I've been kind of surprised just how many pigmen are spawning down here while I'm working. don't see any down there. The other thing I might have to do, and I really don't look forward to this, I probably have to put the stone floor on here, and then I'll also probably have to put a glass headspace along all of this. And that basically goes... I don't think I have any glass with me. Probably not. Nope, doesn't look like I do. Basically what I'll do is I'll have glass here that goes all the way down. And what this prevents is any pigmen from walking on it. But if you're in a minecart and you pass through an opaque block, or excuse me, a transparent block, you won't take suffocation damage, so you'll pass through it just fine. So I'll probably do that. Besides turning, I think I'll make the floor this stuff, the stone brick slab, and then just do something to make these tunnels look really nice. I'll probably make them 3x3, so essentially the size of this. And we'll see what happens. But yeah, that's basically our minecart station. We have our arrival platform, our departure platform right here. We have cart storage up here. It'll be more refined when I actually get a destination. The first destination I'm going to program is going to be for, or that I'm going to finish, is going to be for the end. Because when I'm digging through all of this, I'm going to get a lot of netherrack. And I'm going to use that netherrack to build the enderman grinder that I really need. So I can get some experience and some ender pearls. So I'm looking forward to that. That should be fun. Well, a little bit tedious. I do have to dig the tunnel out. And I'll probably have to basically dig up the other railway that I have down below. But otherwise, that's pretty much it. So I guess I'm going to end the episode here. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions about any of this stuff, leave a comment below. Otherwise, you can check out TaviRider's video. His design, that's what I'm basing mine off of. And I've made a video about this before. You might be able to dig up some of my older videos and see it. And yeah, that's about it. I think I'm at 450 subscribers now, somewhere around that range. Or 350, one of those numbers. I'm not sure which. But yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. And until next time, then.